It is January 2024 and let's do a walkthrough. So this is the outside of the house here. As you can see, we've got some arches formed up there. These are the ICF walls that were poured a long time ago now. Arches there. These here are the skylights. You can see those. Those aren't quite finished, but I do have them tarped off for winter. And next, let's jump down and look at some of the details. Again, on the exterior here, we're looking at, this is the southwest end of the house. And as you can see, you've got the arches formed up here. Now, these were free-formed just by hand, slowly. And that's how most of the exterior arches were formed, was just by hand. Contrast that with, for example, the arch that's outside of the garage and workshop there. Let's take a little walk over there. These were a little bit easier to form because I started off by having a machine shop roll out square steel tubing. These, and I stood those up with heavy equipment and then welded the rebar. So that was kind of the basis for the shape. So you'd stand them up, weld the horizontals all the way up, then bend out the verticals. And put those on. So that was the basis of the shape there. But for these arches, these were all formed, yeah, just freehand. So the basic idea of the house is that it's going to be underground. If I back up a little bit here and look on top of the house, you can see the skylights there. The tops of the skylights are about 7 feet out of the shell, and there's going to be 4 feet of soil. So the soil on top of the house is going to go 4 feet up. So those skylights will be sticking out about 3 feet, just enough to account for snow cover and such. And then it'll be contoured for drainage. So this will be contouring down here, contouring down there, and across. So the angle of repose of the soil on top to down here, angle of repose for the soil is more shallow than we can account for here. So to deal with that, I'm going to be forming up terraced retaining walls. So if you can imagine them kind of swooping out here, they'll be stepped up, going up there. So that'll be coming in the spring here. I'll be forming those up. So that's the basic shape on the exterior. So right here we're looking at the garage and workshop. So this is the west side of the building, and this is facing straight south. That mound of soil, that's going to go on top of the building. But all of the living space is towards the south end of the building to catch the most southern sun, especially the low winter sun. So all the living space, that's where you want all the light to go. So on the north side, which is the darkest side, that's where the garage and workshop is. So that's where we will be entering. The entryway of the house is right there, and that's tarped off right now, so we're not going to walk through there, but that's where the entryway is. So you drive down the driveway here and parking down here, and this will be the entryway. So we're going to walk into the garage here. This is just a temporary garage door to keep the snow out, obviously. Oh, I forgot to turn on the lights. I'm going to go hit the lights. Okay, so we just stepped inside the garage and workshop here. So two garage cells here, 1, 2, and then now in this room, this is, what is this, 48 plus 12. So this is 60 feet to the back end of the workshop there. There's going to be a vertical wall separating the garage and workshop that runs right here. So that'll be a vertical wall separating the space so that when you open up the garage door, you don't exchange all of the air, just the garage portion. Anyways, if we turn this way, so grocery vehicle pulls in here, parks here, and then this first room here, so we're facing directly south right now. This first room here is the pantry and root cellar. So this rectangular shaped room here. So, you walk 10, 15 feet, drop your dry goods, and then through another doorway here into the kitchen is right here. So you walk another 10 to 15 feet, drop your groceries. So short path to the common act of grabbing groceries. Directly south here, so again, we just walked in from the pantry and root cellar. In a U shape, I guess upside down U right here, is the kitchen counters. So this is the supply and waste line for the kitchen sink. So that is directly beneath one of the skylights. So as the sun comes across, whether it's the summer sun or the winter sun, you get sunlight directly down in there right at noon each day. And that'll light that up. So directly south here, dining area right there. There's going to be planters going up here on the sides of the arches there. So you've got year-round herbs and such that you can grow. Turning this way, we're facing west right now. This is the entryway. So we saw the entryway on the outside. That's the entryway door. So that's where you normally come in. So door swings that way, walk in, and on this side here, there'd be another closet wall right here. So this whole stretch right there is going to be closet, and in the floor there, that's where the air supply comes in. So supply the air to the closet, so you get some air movement in there, so you don't get as much of that funky smell building up. So supply the air into the closet there, and then on this side will be a bench for seating and putting on shoes, and probably a little bit of space for guest clothing as well. And there will be a screen door here, so glass door swinging this way, so you'll be able to see through it, but it'll prevent a lot of air from being exchanged. So it's Arctic entry, so kind of like an airlock. So when you open up the front door, if somebody holds it open, bringing a bunch of people in, you only exchange as much air. You can only possibly exchange as much air as is in the entryway there, because of this glass door. So that's the entryway here. We'll go there next. But off to the right here, this would be the office room. So you could call it a small bedroom. You could use it as that, I guess, but it's somewhat small for a bedroom. But that's the office. So that faces directly southwest. So in the winter, when normally you don't get a lot of sunlight and thus not a lot of vitamin D, gets generated, and it's not so great. So this is facing southwest, so when you have the sun come across here, the southern sun, you'll get a lot of sunlight at the end of the day if you got an office job like I currently do. The other nice part about that is that if you come to the office window here, you get a direct view of the driveway coming in. So if you got somebody approaching the house, you'll see them immediately. So that's part of that was taken into account with the layout of the house. So again, turning north here, that's where we came from. That's the pantry, that's the entryway. Here's the kitchen that we saw, and then up here next, this leads into the living space. So there'll be some kind of arch here, and now we're into the living space. So this is facing directly south. That's worth mentioning too. So this is directly south, as is the dining space directly south. So when again, thinking about winter time, when in Minnesota here we don't get a lot of sunlight if you're indoors a lot in Minnesota. So this is a lot of south-facing windows. So this is 8 foot there. Those are 4x4 windows. Just standard window sizes. I went with standard window sizes to save on cost. It's incredibly expensive if you go with custom window sizes. As much as those nice curved arched windows, as nice as those look, they're very expensive. So I wanted to be able to have standard window sizes to save on cost, both now and inevitably in the future when they get replaced. But anyways, you've got tall windows here. The sunlight, I should have recorded this on a sunny day. The sunlight during the winter solstice goes all the way back, and it shoots all the way back to this back wall, up a couple feet on that wall. So you get a tremendous amount of light coming in here during those cold, dark winter months. So that helps with passive solar gain, so gaining heat during the winter time, as well as benefits for the humans inside. So anyways, the living space here, the seating is facing right here, seating space is right here. So you've got the sun coming in, so the seating faces opposite to that, so it faces this way, it faces north, so if when you're sitting you're not just catching sun in the face the whole time. But anyways, this is the general living area here. Yeah, all of this here. So I'll step next to the window and look north here. So there will be a wood stove here, and chimney is up there. And yeah, wood stove there. Eventually, if I find out that we need to burn a lot of wood to keep this place heated, I would probably expand it into a masonry stove, but I don't know how much we're going to need to heat, so I won't invest that until we use the house for 5 years or so and everything equalizes out, and then see what we're burning. So, anyways, here's the main bathroom. So the path from entryway and garage and kitchen into the bathroom, this will all be tile. But yeah, this is where you get to the main bath here. So you've got shower, full bath. This is going to be a full bath, so bath there, toilet, sink. When I poured, I hadn't decided exactly the size and layout of the tub that I wanted, so I just left that cut out there and can fill that in later. There is a skylight in the bathroom as well, so that'll have natural light coming in as well. Over here, continuing into the living space, all this is living space here. This is the laundry and mechanical room. This is kind of the central for mechanical. So when you come into this room, you've got a laundry tub right there. These were just quick mock-ups to represent the size and orientation of the washer and dryer. So washer, dryer there. These are all the water supply lines for every fixture in the house. So each fixture has a direct run, and for both hot and cold, and then as well as some lines for the exterior faucets as well. The water heater will be right there. So this is another piece of the design where I wanted the mechanical room, and specifically where the water heater tank was, to be as close as possible to both the shower and the kitchen sink. So layout wise, that's a very short distance there. So even without having a recirculation line for the main bath and the kitchen, you've got a very short amount of time from turning on the faucet to when you get hot water. Plus all these lines are insulated all the way directly to the fixtures, so that'll help with that as well. But short distance there, so that was deliberate. Let's see here. Oh, so the mechanical room. So another piece of the mechanical is the ventilation. You've got these two intake pipes here. These are corrugated pipe, a double wall, smooth wall on the inside. So this is the two air intake lines. So those run down 15 feet down and 200 feet out of the house, and that's where the intake air comes in. Just move this real quick. Those will go into a dehumidifier and then down into this manifold. Within this manifold, we've got 6-inch lines that run out to all of the living spaces to supply fresh air. So it doesn't need a lot of air movement as with a normal HVAC system, where you've got where you're using the air as your means of heating and cooling the house. That's not the case with this. We just need to move off enough air to keep the organisms inside alive. And the garage and workshop has a separate line. So those are two independent systems there. Anyways, here's the hydronic lines. I also put in hydronic lines throughout the house. I haven't decided to what extent and when I'm going to use those, but I wanted them in there for sure. So I like burning wood. I want to use the wood heat as the main source of heat. Well, at the same time, if something happens to me, I want to be able to throw in a boiler, or my wife throw in a boiler, and to be able to turn a dial and make it warm. So, anyways, we're now going over into the sleeping areas, the bedrooms. So notice the overall flow of the house. That's very deliberate. So you go from kind of going back west here, you go from public space to private space, and it's very gradual. So you come in the entryway, kitchen. We like to have other families and people over, serve meals. So that's a very public space. You step into the living area that becomes slightly more private, more comfortable, and then as you move into the bedrooms, even more private. So you're not having people kick off their shoes right next to your bedroom, for example. So this is the hallway that leads there. This entire stretch of hallway, this is all storage. This house is all one level, so we need to have ample storage because we don't have a basement that you typically have. The first few feet of this entire wall will be drawers to pull out, and the next bit of it will be some kind of storage. So we've got this archway here. This faces southeast. These are the 2 kid bedrooms. So we got girl and boy bedrooms for our kids, and these are rectangular shaped rooms. And now these face southeast. So I guess in the, from the, what would that be, the summer equinox to the winter solstice, and in between they'll get direct light in the morning, but during the I guess, what would that be? I forget which is which. When it's, when it's the high sun, they don't get direct light in the morning. But anyways, the thing about these bedrooms too, to make use of the space above the hallway, what I'm going to actually do is take and make stairways in the kid rooms. The stairway is going to go up here, up to a beds up there. So it'll be, kind of loft bunk beds. They won't have a lot of headroom, so I think of it as a bunk bed. It's not like a loft that you can walk around, but there'll be bunk beds in a loft up there. So there'll be 2 queen beds per kid room up there via the stairway. So that'll make use of, normally in a hallway, if you've got extra height in the hallway, and if you can imagine the shape of the arch here, otherwise this whole space would be wasted because you can't really store anything up there anyways. It's not like this where you can use it for storage. But anyways, that's how we're making use of that space. Traveling further northeast here, this is door swings this way. We've got the master bedroom and the master bath. So this is a 3/4 bath. So shower over there, toilet, sink. So smaller bathroom there. And then this is the master bedroom. So the bed plan on being right there. I got some ideas for that, but still fleshing them out. Closet space is going to be kind of along here. And then, so this faces directly east. So whether it is the high summer sun coming up or the low winter sun, you get direct sunlight right into the bedroom first thing in the morning to wake you up. So that was another deliberate thing. And we got a door here, and eventually down the road we'll make a patio out there. So I guess I missed some of the skylights. So a skylight for the master bath here. There's also a skylight in the living space. There's a skylight above in the laundry mechanical. This one's the chimney. This is the skylight for the main bath. But the thing worth mentioning about the skylights is when we will supply fresh air. Again, we're back to the laundry mechanical room here. This is the intake air. It'll go into the dehumidifier down and supply out to the living areas. So we supply, generally speaking, we supply to the dry areas and exhaust out the wet areas. So that means, or the humid areas. So the skylights above the kitchen, main bath, and master bath, those will exhaust directly outside. So with the path of travel for the air, you just by default are going to be exhausting out the humid areas to help with dehumidification. The one notable exception to that is the skylight in the living area. So this shares space with the wood stove. So in the wintertime, you've got the hot, dry air rising up from the wood stove, and it'll go into that skylight there. Rather than exhaust that out, or I guess worse, let it sit stagnant, there's a pipe that runs down right here. This 4-inch PVC pipe, put a fan on that, and then you can draw that hot, dry air down, and feed it back into the system to recirculate that air. And I guess that'll be a means of transferring some of the heat around the house as well. I think that about covers it. So hopefully some of you enjoyed this. And it's been a while since I've started the house. This is January 24. We broke ground in spring of 21. So just to give you an idea of how far it's come. At some point, I can do a shoot of up on top. It's pretty uneventful right now because it's all tarped off. But I guess another maybe notable thing is all these areas here within these archways, especially this right here. This is in kind of the center of the house. This is all soil space. So that's not living space in there. So that's actually filled with flowable fill, which is concrete with a very low PSI. so it fills, and I use that to prevent any sort of settling, because if you were to have waterproofing on top of the roof and have it settle, suddenly you get a giant pool on top of your roof, and that would not be good. One more thing I'll explain here is how the insulation and waterproofing works on this. First of all, there's drain tile everywhere. The drains out to daylight. In addition to that, I chose a naturally dry site to build the house on. The original grade is right there with the long grass up there, and this was all carved out. So this is actually a hogsback or a ridge line that comes out down here. So, and I chose that because with the ridge line, when it comes, the water wants to go that way and this way, and with the way that it naturally sheds. So it naturally, the contours of the land, this is a naturally dry spot. So that's worth noting. The other thing about the insulation waterproofing is that it's, I think Jonathan Haidt was the name of the author of the passive annual heat storage system, I believe it's called. There's a book on it, you can look it up. But basically the idea is you take a house and then you have soil on top of it, and then you have an insulation waterproofing umbrella and then a little bit more soil on top of that. And the idea is that everything underneath that umbrella is thermal mass, and that's where you store your heat over on an annual basis. So it's an annual heat storage system. The idea being on a conventional house, there's little thermal mass, so the temperature of your house goes up and down basically on a daily basis. Whereas with these houses, it's more of an annual basis. There's a lot of momentum to it because of that thermal mass. I guess another thing I'll maybe show on the exterior of the house, we did get the septic in this year. So the septic is over here, kind of out from the kids' bedroom mainly, and we got a hill going down here. Eventually, I'll be doing terracing this out to be able to use this for gardening, maybe farming, maybe grazing. We'll see. But this whole area, and then all that will be viewable from. Especially from the master bedroom over there.